Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you'd like to see me struggle through this Polygel application, please keep watching. So I'm going to start off with my nail prep as usual, pushing back the cuticles. I'm going to use the opposite end to kind of scrape away some of that dead skin, and then I'm going to use cuticle nippers to remove the excess. So I always like to go around the cuticle area with a fine grit sanding band to further remove any of that dry dead skin that's on the nail plate. I also buff the surface of the nail to remove any shine. So I'll be using some nail glue from Beetles to apply the tips. If you prefer, you can definitely use a gel base coat and cure it to apply the tips instead. So I'm going to use a straight edge nail clipper to taper the nail tips some. They were a little bit too square for my liking and I wanted more of a coffin shape. So I'm just going to use this to kind of remove any of the excess nail tips so that I don't have as much to file. And then I'm going to use a hand file and go ahead and shape these into a coffin shape. So now the struggle begins. I'm going to be using this Makartt Polygel in the color a Siesta. I also purchased this brush from Amazon as well from Makartt. I didn't really like the size of this brush. It was a little bit too big to kind of get into the tighter areas. So I do prefer the actual polygel brushes that come with the kit as opposed to this larger brush. But yeah, so here comes the struggle. This is my second time using polygel. The first time I used it, I didn't even finish my hand because it was just so messy and so sticky. but that was months ago, and I decided I wanted to give it another go, so that I can add more types of, nail extension content to my channel. So this is my second time applying Polygel, and it was definitely a struggle, but Polygel is very forgiving because it's easy to kind of reshape it, and file away any of your mistakes once you've cured everything. So that is definitely a plus for Polygel, but it did take me quite a long time to go from this to what my end product looks like. So here I'm just going to be patting in some patty gel. No, it's not patty gel. Patting in the Polygel with this brush. You see me dipping into the alcohol. It's 91% alcohol, I believe, but you see me dipping into that anytime the Polygel gets a little bit sticky so that it doesn't stick to the brush. I did do 2 coats of Polygel. I cured in between each one. This is me applying the second coat because the first coat was just a little bit too thin. So I'm just going to do the same thing I did the first time. I'm going to pat this into the cuticle area, making sure I stay away from the skin so that there's a nice kind of, not necessarily a gap, but you just don't want it to flood the cuticle. So I'm making sure that the Polygel doesn't flood the cuticle, patting it out, and just kind of dragging it down the nail. So I'm dragging the Polygel, the excess Polygel, from the tip back up towards the cuticle, because it was very thick going towards the tip, and we definitely don't want that look. So I'm just dragging it back up towards the cuticle, patting it out, and then I'm just going to smooth everything out. So this is how my nails look after the first coat. It's very thin. The shape is very awkward. We are going to fix the shape when we do our filing and shaping, but I do have to go in and apply a second coat of the Polygel. We don't want the nails to be super thin. We want them to have a nice thickness to them so that they last and so that you don't have any breakage. So I am going to go in and apply a second coat of Polygel to all the nails after curing them, of course. So this is the application of the second coat of Polygel. All right, guys, so I'm finally done with the actual Polygel application. It did take me about 3 hours just to finish this one hand. So I'm going to be using some alcohol to wipe away the sticky layer that was left over after I cured my nails. And then I'm going to take a fine grit ceramic bit and use that to kind of reshape the nails, debulk them. They were a little bit bulky in some areas, especially going towards the tip. And I'm also going to use this to help seal the cuticle and make that area look nice and flush. Now for the last couple of nails, I did use I believe it was a medium grit sanding band to the shaping, and that worked just as well. If you don't have an e-file, you can use a hand file to do the shaping as well. So I'm just going to debulk these a little bit, make sure the shape is nice and neat, and then we'll move on to the next step.
$2,000 later.
So now that I've done shaping with the e-file, I'm gonna just take my hand file and shape up the free edge and the sides, make sure everything is nice and crisp. And then I'm gonna take a buffing block and buff the surface of the nail because it did leave, the e-file did leave scratches in the surface. You don't wanna use your gel polish over scratches because you will be able to see them. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a buffing block and remove all of the scratches. Okay, now that the hard part is over, we're gonna go ahead and do our VTip French. I'm gonna use this white gel liner from Beetles. This came in a set from Amazon. I'll link it below. But I'm gonna use this to create a VTip French. I like to put a little bit or a little dot in the middle of the nail so I know where the two lines are supposed to connect. So I'm just gonna do a line on each side, connecting them in the middle, and then I'm gonna fill them in as you see here, and that's it. That's how you create your VTip French. I do apply 2 coats of this just so that it's opaque, but I didn't record the second coat application because at this point I was really just kind of over it. Like I said, it took me 3 hours to do just one hand, and this was really late at night and I was super tired. So a lot of the application. I didn't record. I tried to just get enough to where you guys kind of, got an idea of my application. But yeah, I did do 2 coats of this, but I only recorded just the one application. So these turn out really cute. I was actually tempted to just add a matte top coat and leave it at that, but I'm gonna go ahead and apply a glossy top coat and some rhinestones. These are from Beetles. I got them from Amazon. I'll link the kit that these came in down below. The smaller rhinestones are also from Amazon, just a standard little rhinestone kit. I've already got my stones kind of laid out in the shape that I'm going to apply them to my nail just to make it a little bit easier. So that's what you see here. And then I'm going to be applying that with the Makartt rhinestone glue in the little squeezy tube. And I love this rhinestone glue. It's the best one that I've used so far, and it works like a charm. So I'm just going to apply a line down the middle of the nails to apply the larger rhinestones. So for top coat, I'm going to be using the Makartt top coat. This actually came in a Polygel kit that I ordered recently. I really did enjoy this top coat. It was nice and thick. It was nice and glossy. It was a really great top coat. But anyway, so I'm going to apply top coat to all of my nails. So for the nails that have rhinestones on them, I'm not going to apply the top coat on top of the rhinestones. I'm going to try my best to just go around them without getting any of the top coat on top of the rhinestones because I want them to stay shiny. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up before curing. I'm gonna use my cleanup brush to remove that excess top coat from the skin. It just has a little bit of acetone on it. And then I'm gonna go in with this gelish Nourish top coat. I'm sorry, it's not a top coat, it's cuticle oil. I'm gonna go in with this gelish Nourish cuticle oil. It is lemon scented. It smells really good and it's nice and nourishing to the cuticles. So I'm gonna go ahead and rub that in, and we are done, you guys. I really struggled with this application. I'm not used to Polygel, but I do plan on uploading more Polygel tutorials because I want to get good at it. I want to improve my application when it comes to Polygel or any kind of nail extensions. So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.